Stoicism is often misunderstood as a philosophy of passive endurance, a way to simply take it until the storm passes. But the true Stoics were warriors of the mind. They did not teach hatred, and they certainly did not teach revenge. But they were the ultimate advocates for radical self-respect. In our modern culture, we are fed a diet of toxic forgiveness. We are told that to err is human, and that we must offer infinite chances to those who dismantle our peace. But the Stoics, from Marcus Aurelius to Epictetus, were clear. Forgiveness without wisdom is nothing more than self-betrayal. There are specific actions that act as a window into a person's permanent character. When someone shows you they are willing to burn your house down just to keep themselves warm for one night, you do not forgive and forget. You learn, you adapt, and you withdraw. In this video, we aren't talking about petty grudges or small misunderstandings. We are talking about the 10 relationship red flags that act as a definitive signal that it is time to close the door forever. We aren't doing this out of anger. We're doing it out of clarity. Because the strongest people are not the most aggressive, they are the most decisive. They understand that to let a predator back into your inner citadel is to become an accomplice in your own destruction. Yes, 1. The deliberate betrayal of trust. Trust isn't just an emotional bond. It's a contract of logic. In the Stoic view, trust is the mutual agreement that we will act in accordance with logos, the rational order to protect the shared interests of the relationship. When someone knowingly betrays that trust, they haven't just made a mistake, they have declared their intent. The mechanics of awareness. Marcus Aurelius famously wrote in his Meditations that we should not be surprised when the shameless man acts shamelessly. To do so is to be a fool. He argued that people act according to their fundamental nature. If a scorpion stings, it is being a scorpion. If a betrayer lies, they are being a betrayer. A mistake born of ignorance can be rectified. If a friend forgets to call you because they were overwhelmed, that is an error of the memory, but a deliberate betrayal. Infidelity, the theft of a business idea, or the sharing of a secret for social leverage, is a choice. It requires an internal process, where the person weighs your pain against their gain and decides that their gain is more important. When you forgive this and allow the status quo to remain, you are essentially re-signing a contract with a known fraud. You are teaching the betrayer that your trust is cheap and your boundaries are flexible. A Stoic forgives to free their own mind, but they revoke access to protect their future. 2. Repeated disrespect after clear boundaries. In the Stoic tradition, we are taught that we cannot control the actions of others, but we are the absolute rulers of our own reactions. However, many people use this as an excuse to allow themselves to be walked on. Epictetus, who lived much of his life as a slave, understood that dignity is the only thing the world cannot take from you unless you give it away. The stress test of the soul. Everyone has blind spots. A partner might make a joke that hurts your feelings, or a friend might overstep. A Stoic addresses this immediately with a clear statement. You say, "This action does not work for me. It is disrespectful to my values. Please do not do it again." The red flag appears the second time. When someone repeats a disrespectful behavior after being told exactly where the line is drawn, they are not forgetful. They are conducting a social stress test. They are probing the structural integrity of your self-respect. They want to see if your no is a wall of stone or a curtain of smoke. A Stoic man does not beg for basic respect. He understands that presence is value. If someone does not respect your presence, you must give them the gift of your absence. To stay and argue for respect is to lower yourself to the level of the person disrespecting you. 3. Emotional manipulation and mind games. Manipulation is an attack on the mind, not the body. It is the ultimate anti-Stoic act because Stoicism is built on the foundation of truth and reality. Manipulation is built on fog and confusion. Gaslighting, guilt-tripping, and silent treatments are attempts to seize control of your hegemonicon, your commanding faculty. The slavery of insecurity. Seneca warned that those who seek power over the emotions of others are themselves slaves to their own insecurities. A manipulator cannot tolerate your independence. They need you to be emotionally shaky so they can be your only anchor. They want you to doubt your own memory and your own worth, so that they become the only source of truth in your life. Stoics do not negotiate with manipulation. They recognize it early and disengage. Why? Because forgiving manipulation teaches the manipulator that they have successfully accessed your emotional center. The very thing Stoicism teaches you to guard. You do not need to fix a manipulator. You only need to remove yourself from the board so they have no one left to play with. 4. Betrayal of core values without remorse. Every human has a moral North Star, values like honesty, loyalty, integrity, or kindness. If someone violates your deepest values and feels no genuine remorse, forgiveness becomes an act of self-erasure. The alignment of the soul. Marcus Aurelius said that a man must live in alignment with his principles, even if it costs him comfort or companionship. If you are a person of integrity and you stay with someone who thrives on deceit and feels justified in it, you are slowly poisoning your own spirit. You are telling your subconscious that your values are less important than not being alone. For the Stoic, peace without integrity is not peace at all. It is just a temporary truce with a lie. If someone mocks your principles or crosses them and feels entitled to do so, they are incompatible with your path. Forgiveness here does not restore harmony. It destroys your self-respect. You must be willing to walk your path alone if the only other option is walking it with someone who mocks the things you hold sacred. 5. The weaponization of your vulnerabilities. In a healthy relationship, your vulnerabilities are a bridge to intimacy. In a toxic one, they are ammunition. One of the most evident signs of a malicious nature is the person who takes the things you told them in confidence, your fears, your traumas, or your past mistakes, and throws them in your face during a moment of conflict. The violation of sacred space. This is not just fighting dirty, it is a calculated move to cause maximum psychological damage. It shows a fundamental lack of empathy and a desire to dismantle your spirit. A Stoic understands that the internal citadel must be guarded. If someone uses your heart as a target, you must move the target out of their reach. You do not owe an open heart to someone who uses it for target practice. This behavior reveals that they do not respect the person you are. They only value the leverage they have over you. 6. The professional victim, the blame shifter. In the theater of the malicious mind, the script is always rewritten so that the perpetrator is the protagonist, suffering under the cruelty of the world. This is the hallmark of the professional victim. While a healthy person looks in the mirror to find the source of their problems, the evil person looks out the window to find a scapegoat. The architecture of the victim script. Seneca once noted that while the truth stands firm on its own, lies require an ever-expanding web of elaborate stories to sustain them. The professional victim is a master architect of these stories. If they betray you, they will claim it was a reaction to your perceived coldness. If they fail in their responsibilities, they will blame a conspiracy of co-workers or a system designed to see them fail. This is a psychological maneuver known as external locus of control taken to a pathological extreme. By convincing themselves and trying to convince you that they have no agency, they grant themselves a license to sin. After all, if they are just a helpless leaf blowing in the wind, how can they be blamed for where they land? The dodge of accountability and the empathy leash. The most dangerous part of this red flag is the weaponization of your own conscience. The professional victim knows that you are a person of empathy and self-reflection. They use your kindness as a leash to pull you into compliance. They don't just want to escape punishment. They want to outsource their guilt to you. This is often executed through a tactic called DARVO, deny. Attack and reverse victim and offender. Deny. They deny their initial harmful behavior. Attack. They attack you for bringing it up. Reverse. They claim they are the one being bullied or attacked by your accusations. By the end of the conversation, you find yourself apologizing for how you brought up their betrayal, while the betrayal itself is forgotten. The Stoic mirror, staying anchored in catalepsis. Stoicism teaches the concept of catalepsis, the clear, firm grasp of objective reality. To handle a professional victim, you must become an investigative journalist of your own life. When they start the drama of the excuse, you must remain as unmoved as a cliff against the tide. The strategy of the wall. Refuse the gift, Marcus. Aurelius suggested that if someone brings you a gift of guilt and you do not accept it, the gift still belongs to the giver. Fact over feeling. When they say, "You made me do this," you must calmly respond with, "I am responsible for my actions, and you are responsible for yours. Your choice was yours alone." Stop the rescuing. Understand that by saving them from the consequences of their actions, you are actually participating in their stagnation. A Stoic knows that true kindness sometimes requires the cruelty of allowing someone to fail so they might finally learn to stand. 7. Isolation, the quarantine of the soul. An evil person is a strategist who understands a fundamental truth of human nature. We are stronger in a pack. As long as you have a support system, parents who know your history, friends who see your worth, and mentors who provide wisdom, you are difficult to break. You have too many anchors in reality. Therefore, the malicious individual must quarantine your soul. The tactic of the spider, poisoning the well. Isolation rarely looks like a physical cage. It is a slow, chemical process of poisoning your relationships through triangulation. The predator begins by planting small, concerned seeds of doubt about those closest to you. "I noticed your sister always makes those little digs at you. I don't think she truly wants you to succeed. Your best friend seems a bit too interested in your partner, don't you think? Your boss is clearly exploiting your hard work. Only I see your true value." The goal is to create a us versus the world mentality. They want to be the only clean source of information in your life. Once they have successfully severed your connections, they become your judge, your jury, and your executioner. Without outside perspectives to give you a reality check, you start to accept their distorted version of the world as the absolute truth. The gaslighting chamber. Once you are isolated, the gaslighting begins in earnest. This term, derived from the play Gaslight, refers to making someone doubt their own perceptions and sanity. Without a friend to say, "No, that's not what happened," or a family member to say, "You aren't acting like yourself," you become a prisoner of the manipulator's narrative. You begin to suffer from cognitive dissonance, the painful mental state of holding two conflicting beliefs, e.g., "This person loves me," versus "This person is hurting me." The community defense, the cosmopolis. Stoicism teaches us that we are not islands. We are part of the cosmopolis, the great city of the world. Heracles, a Stoic philosopher, used the circles of concern to describe our relationship with the world. How to maintain your anchors. The rule of 3. Never allow one person to be your only source of emotional support, financial security, and social life. Always maintain at least 3 independent anchors, friends, hobbies, or professional groups that have nothing to do with the person in question. The transparency test. If you feel like you have to hide what is happening in your relationship from your friends because they wouldn't understand, that is a definitive sign of isolation. Truth thrives in the light. Isolation thrives in the shadows. The response to rage. Pay attention to how they react when you spend time with others. A healthy partner feels a pang of missing you. An evil person feels a pang of losing control. If they use guilt, anger, or the silent treatment to punish you for being social, they are not loving you. They are ambushing you. A Stoic understands that presence is a gift, but it is not a debt. You owe no one the right to quarantine your spirit. Keep your circles wide and your mind will remain clear. 8. Joy in your failure, Schadenfreude. A true ally in the Stoic sense views your success as an extension of the common good. Because we are all part of the same rational universe, your win is a win for humanity. However, a toxic person operates on a darker frequency. They experience a secret glow when you stumble, phenomenon known as schadenfreude, deriving pleasure from the misfortunes of others. The duper's delight and the biology of malice. This isn't always something they admit to. Often it leaks out through what psychologists call duper's delight. This is a specific micro-expression, a fleeting, involuntary smirk or a spark in the eyes that appears when a manipulator believes they have successfully deceived someone or when they witness someone else's downfall. While they may verbally offer sympathy, their body language is energized. They stand a little taller, their voice has a hidden rhythmic bounce, and they seem strangely refreshed by your tragedy. The zero-sum mindset versus Stoic sympathy. The root of this behavior is the zero-sum mindset. In their world, there is a limited amount of happiness or status. If you have more, they believe they have less. They don't want to build a taller building through their own merit. They want to tear yours down so that theirs remains the tallest by default. Marcus Aurelius used a powerful biological metaphor for this. He reminded us that we are made for cooperation, like feet, like hands, like the 2 rows of teeth. A person who finds joy in a broken tooth of the social body is essentially attacking their own body. Distance yourself immediately. The Stoics believed that character is contagious. If you stay close to someone who celebrates failure, you will eventually find your own perspective rotting, becoming cynical and fearful of your own success. 9. The moving goalposts of approval. Have you ever felt like life is a constant audition? This is the red flag of the moving goalpost. In this dynamic, the requirements for their love or approval change the moment you satisfy them. If you become more ambitious, as they asked, they suddenly complain that you are never home. If you spend more time at home, they criticize you for being lazy. The anxiety loop and intermittent reinforcement. This is not a misunderstanding. It is a calculated control tactic designed to keep you in a state of permanent hypervigilance. By keeping the hook of approval just out of your reach, they ensure that your focus is always on them and never on your own needs. This creates a psychological state known as intermittent reinforcement. Because they occasionally give you a breadcrumb of affection, your brain stays addicted to the chase, much like a gambler at a slot machine. The uncertainty makes the reward feel more powerful, even though it is destroying your mental health. The Stoic internal anchor. A Stoic's self-worth is an internal anchor, not an external buoy tossed by the waves of someone else's opinion. Epictetus taught that no one can hurt you without your consent. If you stop chasing their validation, they lose their leverage. You become dangerous to a manipulator because you can no longer be bought with a smile or threatened with a frown. You must realize that their approval is a bankrupt currency. It has no value in the marketplace of virtue. Your goal is not to meet their shifting standards, but to meet your own unchanging standard of integrity. 10. The total refusal to grow, the unrepentant heart. The final and perhaps most tragic red flag is the stagnation of the soul. Marcus Aurelius taught that the hallmark of a human being is the ability to practice, procope, consistent moral progress. However, an evil person possesses an unrepentant heart. They have essentially frozen their character in a state of perpetual denial. The frozen heart and the closed loop. They justify their most destructive actions with elaborate circular excuses. When confronted with proof of their wrongdoing, they don't feel the healthy sting of remorse that leads to change. Instead, they feel narcissistic injury, a sense of rage that you dared to catch them. An unrepentant heart is a closed loop. There is no input you can provide, no amount of love, logic, or therapy that can force a person to look at themselves if they have decided that they are already perfect, or that their flaws are your fault. You cannot save someone who is convinced they are the one doing the saving. Protecting your energy. Stoicism reminds us that we have a limited amount of time on this earth. Memento mori. To spend that time trying to fix someone who refuses to admit they are broken is a waste of a sacred resource. Not everyone is willing to grow. Some people choose to stay in the dark because they have learned to navigate it so well. Protect yourself by investing your energy in those who have the courage to confront their own shadows. As the Stoics said, the best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury. By walking away from the unrepentant, you are choosing a life of growth, light, and true peace. 8. Joy in your failure, Schadenfreude. A true ally in the Stoic sense views your success as an extension of the common good. Because we are all part of the same rational universe, your win is a win for humanity. However, a toxic person operates on a darker frequency. They experience a secret glow when you stumble, phenomenon known as Schadenfreude, deriving pleasure from the misfortunes of others. The duper's delight and the biology of malice. This isn't always something they admit to. Often it leaks out through what psychologists call duper's delight. This is a specific micro-expression, a fleeting, involuntary smirk or a spark in the eyes that appears when a manipulator believes they have successfully deceived someone or when they witness someone else's downfall. While they may verbally offer sympathy, their body language is energized. They stand a little taller, their voice has a hidden rhythmic bounce, and they seem strangely refreshed by your tragedy. The zero-sum mindset versus Stoic sympathy. The root of this behavior is the zero-sum mindset. In their world, there is a limited amount of happiness or status. If you have more, they believe they have less. They don't want to build a taller building through their own merit. They want to tear yours down so that theirs remains the tallest by default. Marcus Aurelius used a powerful biological metaphor for this. He reminded us that we are made for cooperation, like feet, like hands, like the 2 rows of teeth. A person who finds joy in a broken tooth of the social body is essentially attacking their own body. Distance yourself immediately. The Stoics believed that character is contagious. If you stay close to someone who celebrates failure, you will eventually find your own perspective rotting, becoming cynical and fearful of your own success. 9. The moving goalposts of approval. Have you ever felt like life is a constant audition? This is the red flag of the moving goalpost. In this dynamic, the requirements for their love or approval change the moment you satisfy them. If you become more ambitious, as they asked, they suddenly complain that you are never home. If you spend more time at home, they criticize you for being lazy. The anxiety loop and intermittent reinforcement. This is not a misunderstanding. It is a calculated control tactic designed to keep you in a state of permanent hypervigilance. By keeping the hook of approval just out of your reach, they ensure that your focus is always on them and never on your own needs. This creates a psychological state known as intermittent reinforcement. Because they occasionally give you a breadcrumb of affection, your brain stays addicted to the chase, much like a gambler at a slot machine. The uncertainty makes the reward feel more powerful, even though it is destroying your mental health. The Stoic internal anchor. A Stoic's self-worth is an internal anchor, not an external buoy tossed by the waves of someone else's opinion. Epictetus taught that no one can hurt you without your consent. If you stop chasing their validation, they lose their leverage. You become dangerous to a manipulator because you can no longer be bought with a smile or threatened with a frown. You must realize that their approval is a bankrupt currency. It has no value in the marketplace of virtue. Your goal is not to meet their shifting standards, but to meet your own unchanging standard of integrity. 10. The total refusal to grow, the unrepentant heart. The final and perhaps most tragic red flag is the stagnation of the soul. Marcus Aurelius taught that the hallmark of a human being is the ability to practice, procope, consistent moral progress. However, an evil person possesses an unrepentant heart. They have essentially frozen their character in a state of perpetual denial. The frozen heart and the closed loop. They justify their most destructive actions with elaborate circular excuses. When confronted with proof of their wrongdoing, they don't feel the healthy sting of remorse that leads to change. Instead, they feel narcissistic injury, a sense of rage that you dared to catch them. An unrepentant heart is a closed loop. There is no input you can provide, no amount of love, logic, or therapy that can force a person to look at themselves if they have decided that they are already perfect, or that their flaws are your fault. You cannot save someone who is convinced they are the one doing the saving. The conclusion, the power of the final exit. So what happens when you finally decide that enough is enough? Many people are afraid to walk away because they think it makes them weak or cold. They think that strong people stay and fight for the relationship. The Stoics tell us the opposite. Weak people stay because they are afraid of the unknown. They use forgiveness as a mask for their fear of being alone. Strong people leave because they value their own peace. They aren't afraid of the silence. They would rather be alone and have their integrity than be in a crowd and lose themselves. Walking away is a superpower. Walking away is not about being mean. It's an act of self-respect in motion. It's like being an archer. You aim for a good relationship, you do your best, but if you realize the target is 50 miles away and the bow is made of glass, you stop shooting. You pick up your gear and you go find a better place to train. The final call to action. You do not need to hate the people who crossed you. You do not need to scream. You do not even need to explain why you're leaving. If they cared enough to understand, they wouldn't have crossed you in the first place. You only need clarity. You need to know where your lines are, and you need to have the courage to stand behind them. If you are ready to stop being a pawn in someone else's drama and start being the master of your own life, comment the word clarity below. It lets me know that you're choosing yourself over a toxic cycle. If this video helped you, hit the like button and subscribe. We are building a community of people who are learning how to be the mountain, unmoved, calm and strong. Be the mountain. Start today.